this video the 5 things every single patient who has successfully reversed kidney disease is doing. And here's the best part. If you follow the 5 things and do, your chances of reversing kidney disease could skyrocket. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine and I've dedicated my career to working with people suffering from kidney disease. And let me tell you, despite what you may have been told, that CKD patients are supposed to progressively lose kidney function, CKD patients can and will improve. But here's the catch. That improvement only happens if they receive the right treatment and take the right actions. This isn't just my opinion. It's a fact backed by science and years of working closely with CKD patients. So the question I want to answer today is, what are the essential things you must do if you want to reverse kidney disease? They are the 5 steps that everyone who has achieved success is following, and they're not negotiable. Think of them as the commandments of CKD management, just like if Moses chiseled them onto stone tablets. Let's see what they are, starting with number 5, keep your blood pressure down naturally. Now, the correct approach to managing blood pressure might just be one of the biggest conundrums in CKD treatment today. So, blood pressure, the silent disease that could quickly become your worst nightmare. You don't hear it, you don't see it, but oh boy, you feel it when the damage is done. Many patients develop kidney disease because they've had high blood pressure their entire lives. Meanwhile, others get a brand new gift with purchase: CKD-induced high blood pressure. It's basically the health equivalent of your car's brakes failing because you're driving too fast but you can't slow down because, well, the brakes are failing. A vicious cycle. Luckily, we've got medications today that actually work, and let me be clear, if you don't want your healthcare journey to turn into an express lane to disaster, you must always keep your blood pressure below 130/80. Not occasionally, not only after yoga or except during Thanksgiving with the in-laws. I mean, always below 130/80. Got it? Good. And yes, I can guarantee you every doctor out there, yes, even that one who runs 3 hours behind schedule and prescribes Tylenol for everything, will agree on this. 130/80 is not just a number, it's your kidneys' safe zone. Go above it and your kidneys start packing their bags. Now, I know what you're thinking. Catherine, we know this. We've met a doctor before. But did you also know that you can boost your chances of kidney improvement if you manage blood pressure naturally? Yes, naturally. In fact, according to medical literature, patients who improved their kidney function kept their blood pressure in check while taking significantly less medication. Now guys, what you see here comes from a paper that's basically shaking up the whole world of CKD like a snow globe. It's a big deal. It's saying, sure, keeping your blood pressure down is critical. No one's debating that. But if you want to actually improve kidney function, you've got to do it without turning your medicine cabinet into a pharmacy. Yeah, you don't need the whole CVS inventory sitting on your nightstand. In fact, this study shows that patients who improved were on significantly less ACE inhibitors, ARBs, and diuretics than those who didn't. So the million-dollar question is, how do we keep blood pressure under control naturally? There are various remedies we can use to lower blood pressure without having to take too much medications. Probably the safest and most effective is garlic supplementation. Garlic has a huge positive effect on blood pressure, which is completely supported by science. If you take garlic supplements correctly and if you take them regularly, you may be able to completely get rid of at least one of your prescriptions for high blood pressure. Now, something else you may also want to add is CoQ10. This supplement is also strongly supported by science, but it's a little bit more hit or miss compared to garlic. In fact, it works in a different way from garlic. While garlic lowers BP by improving blood vessel flexibility and decreasing activity of angiotensin converting enzyme, CoQ10 helps more by increasing mitochondrial energy production. This will, in turn, make your heart work better, but it also comes with a negative. It only works if your reserve of CoQ10 in the body is low to begin with. What this means is that while basically everyone will react well to garlic, only those who are low in CoQ10 will have benefits from this supplement. So, how do you tell if CoQ10 is helping you? Well, it's easy. You start to take it and you measure and log your blood pressure regularly. See what happens for yourself. Now, the thing about CoQ10 is that when it works, it's almost miraculous. Your blood pressure may go down by 20/10 millimeters of mercury, which is like saying goodbye to at least one medication. Yeah, for some patients, this could be all it takes to send not just high blood pressure into remission, but even CKD itself. But of course, it's when you also add in dietary and lifestyle changes that you can make the biggest dent in your need for medications. Stuff as, limiting sodium intake, correct water intake, and of course, exercising. You see, exercising is something that works in order to lower blood pressure in everyone, and the effect is going to be huge. I've seen personally people almost completely stopping the need for medications when doing just these two lifestyle changes actually. So yeah, move like your life depends on it. Run, walk, dance, whatever gets your heart pumping and your blood pressure down. But let's be real, no one's asking you to join a marathon tomorrow. Start slow. We're aiming for longevity, not a pulled hamstring. Okay, up next, number 4. Let's talk about how to beat what's causing it. Okay, when it comes to kidney health, there is no improving if we don't stop the cause of the damage. I know this will sound a bit rude, but improving kidney health is like trying to fill a leaking bucket. Alright, you're not going to get anywhere until you fix the hole. That hole being whatever is causing the damage. And for almost half of CKD sufferers, that hole's name is diabetes. Now, diabetes medications are a little less controversial than blood pressure meds. You don't see people screaming at their pharmacist about their metformin prescription, at least not as often. But you see, there is something even better than medications: getting diabetes into remission. It was believed for a long time that those who suffered from diabetes for 6 years or more couldn't go into remission. But now, things have changed. Thanks to this new study, it's finally proven that even patients who had type 2 diabetes for 11 years can get diabetes into remission. But how have they achieved complete remission from diabetes, you ask? So diabetes remission is defined as having a HbA1c below 6.5% without the use of medications. And the secret sauce for most patients is the classic duo: exercising and weight loss. Now, let's be honest, there is no magic pill for exercise. You still have to put in the work. No supplement is going to do burpees for you. Anyway, we can still find stuff that helps controlling diabetes naturally. Yes, even for the weight loss part. One of the supplements that can be extremely effective for people with diabetes is berberine. In fact, berberine is often compared to metformin in terms of effectiveness, but without most of the annoying side effects. Here's where it gets even cooler. Berberine doesn't just lower blood sugar, it also helps with weight loss, which is something metformin doesn't do very well. This is why I usually recommend to take 500 milligrams of it 3 times per day, about half an hour before meals. Think of it as priming your metabolism to actually behave itself at dinner. Berberine, in fact, doesn't just reduce glucose production in the body, it also seems to have an appetite-suppressing effect on most people. Now, something else I would also recommend for diabetes is chromium. Chromium is an essential trace element we can get from supplements and also in small doses from foods. What this molecule does in the body is stabilizing and reducing blood sugar levels by improving insulin sensitivity. Now, here's the thing about berberine and chromium. They're great, but they're not magic. You cannot just pop a pill and expect to wake up diabetes free. You've still got to put in the work. It's not Ozempic or Wegovy. Those meds are like the heavy artillery of diabetes management. Sure, they're not as natural as berberine, but they get the job done fast and loud. So if your doctor says you need these medications, go for it, because yeah, they may not be as natural as berberine, but they also work a lot more effectively, which is a trade-off I'm completely willing to make. And it's not even that you can't use them together, by the way. But here's the thing, while supplements like berberine can provide fantastic support, they're just one piece of the puzzle. If you want to truly transform your kidney health, especially if diabetes is also present, the foundation of your success is going to be your diet. Now, when it comes to the diet for CKD and diabetes, many people are confused. They have been told to be careful with or even to avoid carbs because they have diabetes. Maybe they have heard also to be careful with high potassium foods and probably to limit protein as well. And guys, the problem here is that all these recommendations can help. They all have a basis in truth. Yeah, I know this may sound confusing. And to make things worse, you absolutely need to have a diet you can actually follow long term if your goal is protecting your kidney health. So your diet does not just need to work on paper, but it must also work on your table. What to do? Well, if you're interested in starting a diet that's easy to follow, tested and personalized for your very own needs, consider sending me an email. My address is catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com. And I'll also include a link below in the description so you won't have trouble finding me. I'm currently accepting new consultations, but slots are filling up quickly. Email me today and take the first step toward improving your kidney health together. In fact, I'm now including a personalized diet with all my counseling sessions, and frankly, I believe it may make your life a lot easier. Okay, up next, number 3, get your thyroid checked if you can't lose weight. Who's tried every diet known to man, from keto to cabbage soup, and still can't lose weight? Go ahead, raise your hands. Don't worry, this isn't confession, it's solidarity. And here's the kicker, it's probably not even your fault. If you've got advanced kidney disease and diabetes and you are trying to lose weight, well, picture trying to parallel park a cruise ship in the desert. That's what losing weight feels like when your thyroid doesn't work. Just eat less, they say. Just move more, they say. What they don't say is that if you have kidney disease, you're way more likely to have an underactive thyroid than most other people out there. And by don't say, I mean 60% of CKD patients with thyroid problems go completely undiagnosed. Your thyroid's basically a ninja sneaking around and sabotaging your health while everyone is busy telling you to watch your portions. And to make things worse, having an underactive thyroid doesn't just make winning the battle with diabetes and kidney disease as likely as finding Bigfoot in your backyard. It's also a cause for bone density loss, a condition called renal osteodystrophy that will permanently damage your bones. I mean, sounds like something your doctor should check for, alright? So my advice if you are having symptoms such as fatigue, cold intolerance, and inexplicable weight gain is get your thyroid checked. No, even better, make sure you are being tested for PTH levels if you have kidney disease. And this brings us to our number 2, which is maybe even more important. Take care of the most common complications of CKD. In fact, having high PTH and thyroid problems is just one of the complications that may be caused by kidney disease. It's not even the most common. There is a complication around 7 out of 10 CKD patients have, mostly without knowing about it, mostly without getting it under control. And it makes your GFR decline faster. This complication is anemia. Guys, lately, I've been trying to raise the awareness about anemia, and I will keep doing it. Recent statistic brought out a very concerning number. Up to 72.8% of those with kidney disease also have iron deficiency anemia, and that's a staggering amount of people. And I know what you may be thinking. Doctors ignoring anemia is like firefighters showing up to a blaze and deciding it's a good time for a coffee break. But unfortunately, according to studies, only a small percentage of patients with this problem are receiving the appropriate attention. Can you guess how many are getting proper treatment? 4%. 4. Now, this is terrible. That's not just a statistic. That's a tragedy. It's like your doctor sees anemia and goes, well, worry about that later. And later turns out to be dialysis. Let me be clear, if you have anemia and you don't treat it, you might as well be putting your GFR on a sled and shoving it downhill. Monitor your hemoglobin levels. Always. Another very serious complication we need to address to have success is metabolic acidosis. This is also very common and can lead to a faster decline in GFR. Like any complication, this is a vicious circle we are talking about. When GFR is reduced, people often have even more difficulty maintaining proper acid-base balance in the body, which can lead to a buildup of acid in the blood. And this is the definition of metabolic acidosis. This complication is so common and so damaging that in literature, there is evidence of people reversing the decline of GFR just by taking care of metabolic acidosis. And there is just one step that's even more important. Number 1 is controlling phosphorus intake. As I was saying, the renal diet is probably the most important step of them all when it comes to stopping and reversing the decline of GFR numbers. There are many documented cases of patients reversing kidney disease only by following a simple renal diet. One of the most important aspects of the renal diet is controlling phosphorus intake, and not just because phosphorus intake is naturally linked to protein intake. Phosphorus itself is one of the worst toxins for the kidneys. I've made a full video about how to detoxify phosphorus. It's up here and also down in the description if you missed it. And remember guys, your kidneys aren't drama queens. They're just overworked and underappreciated. Show them some love. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye-bye.